Hey everybody, welcome to the garden. I hope you're having a great day. Shout out to the lemon and lime lovers and everybody in between. It's time for the crypto market recap. Let's hop into these charts, see what the story is and what it may be. And remember, if you're interested in any of the services I provide, please check the link in the description for both the Patreon and Discord. Okay, so we're going to take a look at a couple coins, mainly the coins we're still in positions in. So Bitcoin, Avalanche, Polkadot, and Cardano. And I may take a look at a few other coins that we closed out our longs in great profits in response to the possibility of Bitcoin finding some slowdown at this level here. So far it was a smart decision, and we're gonna take a quick look at the NASDAQ as well. That will also further illustrate why Bitcoin is doing what it's doing. So currently my bias on Bitcoin short term is still to the upside. Okay, so the probabilities are still leaning towards upside movement, going towards back to 24,500 and then eventually 25,500. Once we get towards that zone, then I'm going to be looking to see if it's going to have enough push to get towards 28,000, 30,000. It may not. All right, we do have to consider that once we get towards 25,500, the probabilities of further upside do decrease. All right, and there's a couple reasons for that. One, we do have short-term bullish price action, that's for sure. Right now, this consolidation on the daily, we don't know if it's going to be a bullish consolidation. It's very immature, but short-term time frames are showing possible signs of bullish consolidation. However, it is happening within a bearish structure, right? So let's pull this line here from the bottom pivot, and as you can see, we are slowly staircasing on top of this trend line here that I just drew, and then let's draw from this top pivot here and pull from here. And as you can see, we have a bit of a channel formation, a rising channel, or a bearish flag, however you want to label it. Either way, it is a bearish structure. Okay, so let me just change the color of this so it's a little bit clear of what I'm talking about. So these green lines here, as you can see, it's very clear that we are within a bearish structure, a rising structure. That does not mean it's going to immediately play out. As you can see, so far it's been respecting the bottom side of this rising channel, as well as the top side. So we may be coming back down to test towards 22,000 and maybe even lower towards 21,500. And we'll see if price will respect it once more, and then we may get that further rise higher, going towards 24,500 once more, and then 25,500, and possibly get another push, an extended push, going towards 30,000, 28,000, that zone. That would happen if what I'm currently seeing persists, which is a very negative outlook on crypto. Even after this rise on Bitcoin, there's a lot of negativity towards Bitcoin. There's a lot of fear. So if that persists as we get towards 24,000, 25,000, I would not be surprised if we start seeing an extended move going towards 28,000 to 30,000. Because even if we do get there, that does not change my overall macro bias. That just means we've hit a massive resistance zone, and we're likely, probability-wise, likely going to deny from there, just like this was drawn, and come down and maybe continue that macro downtrend that we've been on, since pretty much the start of the year. Okay, so though we are long Bitcoin, and yes, we are in a bearish structure, the short-term structure, the short-term consolidation that possibly is being built here is looking bullish. We'll see if we can hold this general pivot zone. If we don't, look for it to come back down towards this trend line here, which is about 21,800, 21,900. Let's round it up to 22,000 flat. Okay, if then that's lost, look to see if this ascending trend line is held. If this is taken out, then watch for this pivot here to get touched at 19,000 to 20,000, and then eventually, finally, we'll probably see a test of this bottom pivot if that level's taken out, which is 17,600 on this chart. We'll just round it up to 18,000, 17,000, that zone. If that's taken out, watch for 15,000 and lower to come, okay? Because then it's very likely that the macro downtrend will continue lower, going towards 12,000. All right, so on to the next one, which is going to be Avalanche, I believe. Yep. So Avalanche, very similar to Bitcoin. As I've said in the past, as it was oscillating around this descending trend line, which is a very important trend line because it's drawn from its previous all-time high and pretty much respected all until, you know, we had this bearish macro structure forming, this bearish wedge finally breaks lower, breaks under what I consider a macro bottom level from the previous run, which is $50. And now I still believe, even now, it's likely going to break higher, going towards at least $30 to $35, and then eventually towards $40. So my thesis on Avalanche has not changed. However, we are in a rising structure very similar to Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin does break bearish, that structure, okay, prior to Avalanche making the high that I'm seeing, then hey, it's invalidated, it's going to go lower. We do have to give it more time, okay? We do have to give it more time. But as of right now, nothing's changed as long as Bitcoin continues to hold that rising trend line, the green rising trend line I had just drawn for you, okay? And, you know, considering that we're still long, I'm still eyeing a break past this pivot level, which is what, about 20, actually, let me get this out of the way so I can see. The high of that was about $26.36, $26.50. So I'm still eyeing a break past that, especially if Avalanche can hold this bottom part here, this bottom wick here, which is at $22.62. Okay, so if that's held, then I am seeing that move higher going towards $30. All right, so which does correlate with the top of this rising structure, and that's my my first level target that I do see getting hit. And if Bitcoin can have that extra push, I do see it breaking higher. Okay, but $30 for us in our position, considering where we got in, is a great place to target to get out. If it does break lower, okay, well, we don't have much exposed of the account to Avalanche, and with our previous closures for the other altcoin positions, we have a lot more powder on the side to where we can comfortably add on, because there are levels coming that will show a lot of demand. Okay, so I'm not too worried if it does break bearish, which the probabilities for this structure are pretty high. Bitcoin is showing a different story right now. Okay, all right, so if you're in this position, just make sure, if you're in this with me, just make sure you're keeping track of my updates on it. I'm watching Avalanche very, very closely. I'm watching all of our positions very closely, but especially Avalanche, because as I've said, I do see a massive potential to the move to the upside. But I am understanding that, hey, we are in a bearish structure, and we are still in a bearish macro trend for all of crypto. But the price action is telling me a different story within that bearish structure, and that's very important to realize, and that comes with a lot of experience. So even though this is a bearish structure, and it's not wrong to trade with it, it's actually more right than wrong. There are times where your experience will come into play. The more you look at charts, and you'll know that it's more likely not to play out this structure just yet. It's more likely to get towards the top side of a bear structure, to catch more longs, to catch more retail traders. All right, so that's what I'm seeing for now. We'll see if I'm proven right. If not, like I've said, we have our plans. We have our plans. All right, so let's go on to Polkadot next. So Polkadot is next, and Polkadot, starting that, if you're a member, you saw my message that I posted for the members only about Polkadot. We've been in this general range area. We're going to see if it can actually find the strength to confirm out of it. We had the breakout, the beginning of a breakout, but we have not confirmed, right? Because what's our confirmation signal? We want to see a daily candle break out of a zone, and then we want the next daily candle to close above the high of that daily candle. So we haven't seen that. We're still seeing some sort of consolidation. We'll see if it's going to be bullish or bearish. That's right at this resistance zone of $8.50. And if it should prove to be bullish, I'm expecting some sort of flaggish pattern, like a bull flag, that will break us higher. Okay, because if we can confirm above this zone out of this range here, then watch for a big move going towards at least $9 and change. I think you actually will tap $10 and change. Okay, if Bitcoin has a different plan, then it won't happen, or it may even go higher. It just depends on how Bitcoin wants to interact at certain levels as it gets to it. But in a vacuum, Polkadot's not in a bad spot, especially if it can close within this previous daily candle, which has about 3 hours. If it can close within that, then the odds of a consolidation occurring here is more likely, and it's more likely to be bullish as of right now. All right, but after the rise it's had, a pullback is expected, and I would not be too worried as of now. Okay, and we are in good profit with Polkadot so far, I believe. Or just a, yeah, we're in pretty good profits right now. All right, and Cardano, let's see. So Cardano also had a really nice rise, and expected to have this pullback. We'll see how this one wants to form. I like Cardano still, though it hasn't really had a full breakout. It's attacked it a couple times, as you can see. So the line I'm looking at here is this top pivot here. Okay. And as you can see, has not really taken this out. It's fought it a couple of times. We're going to see if it can actually get through, if there's going to be consolidation here, and then an attempt to break out again. If it does get back towards this line, it's very likely that it does break through, which is about 54.546, so 54.5 cents is this general line here. So if we do get back to that zone, I do see Cardano probably breaking through, but it is also a rising structure. So if Bitcoin starts breaking bearish, then so will Cardano, and look for this first pivot zone to be touched, 45 cents. This is probably going to get taken out. This bottom pivot will be very interesting to see how this interacts. Normally, I would expect this to break under and probably go towards 35 to 30 cents if the sell-off in Bitcoin is significant. If it's somewhat not too aggressive, this zone may hold fairly well. 40 cents is a very attractive zone for Cardano, so I am curious to see how the demand's going to play out here. The probabilities will be that this does break, though, should this break down. All right. Okay, and I think, yeah, that's everything that we're in. Let's take a quick look at Link, because we closed out Link in profit. As you can see, it's gotten very close to my confluence zone that I was eyeing in my last recap, and I still think it probably gets there. We closed it out, one, for a couple reasons. One, we were in very good profit. It's never wrong to take profits when you're against the actual macro trend, which we were. Two, the way you swing trade successfully is when you think about portfolio weight, when you have certain percentage exposures to certain assets at certain times. And since we have about 25% of our exposure to Bitcoin up and currently, and then the other coins, Avalanche, Polkadot, I want to say it's 2 to 3% each, maybe 4% for Avalanche. I have to double check, but no more than 10% in total. So we have a massive amount of cash on the side after we closed ETH, and then after we closed Link, because we got our principal back plus great profits. So it was very, very profitable. It was very smart, in my opinion, to close when you're up, almost 20% on a position. When you have other positions that you may have an opportunity to add on to. Okay, so it was a good place to close, and we may get another opportunity to get back in, right? So I want to watch to see if Link does get down towards $7.30, and maybe even pierces under $7 and gets towards this pivot. This is what really has my eye, is if we can get towards this general zone, which is about $6.82. If Link does get down here, I'm going to be very tempted to take a position there, because I do think that if Bitcoin can hold the current levels, the general zone above 22,000, you're going to see this descending trend line for Link, which is a very important line, just like Avalanche, from the all-time high extended out. You're going to see this line get attacked over and over, and eventually I believe it'll get broken through, and we'll revisit that level of $8.72. So we're going to keep our eye on Link. We may get another opportunity to enter, so make sure if you want to follow me in this trade that you have all the alerts set to go. But other than that, Link has traded as well, and I'm happy with how the trade worked out. Let's take a quick look at Ethereum. As we see, it's having a nice sell-off, and look how this is so cool about the lines, man. Look how much Ethereum has respected this general zone, this line here. Broke through, couldn't confirm the break because there was no daily candle that closed above the high of this daily candle, and then now has broken back under, and clearly is beginning a consolidation unless we have a really strong sell-off going into the end of the day. But it looks like it's going to hold this high here, which is about $1,600. All right, and if Ethereum can hold this level here and start just ping-ponging between 1,600 and 1,700, I think that's a really good sign for more upside, right? Because my general target level is, this was the first one, 1,700, but also 1,800 to 1,900. Okay, this is the general zone where I see Ethereum really starting to fail if it were to get there. Could happen now. All right, but I would be very tempted to start looking just short about 1,800, 1,900, but if the sentiment stays as bearish, as negative as it has been on a lot of social networks, I will want it to go higher, maybe towards 2,000 before I start laddering in shorts. I am really paying attention to the the general sentiment of the market. It's a bit too negative for my taste, so I do want more positive vibes to come in before I start looking to really open up shorts on it. Okay, I need some extended moves. Yeah, if you want to understand why that's so important, I go over that through my tutoring. So if you're interested in that, take a look at the Patreon. I have a few different ways you can check that out. And I think that's all I'm going to go over today. Actually, let's go over Solana real quick, because Solana has been a great trade. We were in a trade from down here, had a nice rise. We took our profits there. Then Solana just sold right off, and we actually bought right around here, I believe, and we sold right around here. So we had a really quick trade on Solana after a pretty nice trade. I think it was like a 20% trade and then like another 10-15% trade. So Solana has treated us well. And Solana is very similar to Bitcoin, right? Very, very similar to Bitcoin, the structure. So you have a rising structure, really respecting this line so far. And then you have the top portion here, which is more of a channel, almost wedgish, right? So if we do ignore the wicks, we're looking at a possible wedge here forming, which is bearish, right? So we do see a bearish structure either way that's formed here. So we do want to keep that in mind. And the probabilities are that it's likely going to break down. The only thing that's keeping me from really proclaiming that that's what's going to happen any day is that Bitcoin's price action on the smaller time frames are showing some bullish signs, and we may see a little bit more going to the upside to test the top of these bearish structures as they formed. Okay. And yeah, that's about all I want to go over with crypto. Let me take a quick look at the NASDAQ like I said I would. Actually, hold on, let's go here. So NASDAQ really gives us a good sign as to what we're seeing with Bitcoin. So what have I said? We're going to test the top of this green zone, and the whole day NASDAQ's been fighting it, right? The whole day the NASDAQ's been fighting this green zone here, as you can see. And we're going to see if it's actually going to be able to find that strength to break through. Because if it does break through, then watch for it to break towards the top of this descending channel. All right. So if it does get to the descending channel, what then? Well, likelihood is it will start to stall out once more. But you have to keep in mind descending channels inherently are bullish. Okay. So what I mean by that, they are designed for the price to eventually break through. All right, so if that's what is going to happen, you would see the NASDAQ get towards the top of the structure. You'll see some sort of consolidation. The consolidation can take a long time with equities and with the indices. So we do have to give it some time. It's possible that this could take like weeks to a month or so before it breaks through. All right, or it could be very quick or very just instant. Either way, if we do start seeing bullish consolidation, watch for a breakthrough and watch for an immediate sell-off to the downside here. All right, immediately. Reason why is because breakout traders usually always get beat up the moment something breaks out. Market makers love to do that. Breakout traders, though they can make money, often get bamboozled often enough. But there's ways to make money with it. It's usually just pretty much treating that as a normal cost of things. If you're a breakout trader, you just know that you're going to probably get sidelines here, and then you'll either have to hold through some drawdown, or you'll just get stopped out, and then you re-enter on the retest of this descending trend line as support. That's how it usually goes for breakout traders. So I would not be surprised if we do see, if the NASDAQ does break through, that you see massive sell-off going back down towards the green zone or the descending trend line here. But if it does hold that descending trend line or this general green zone, watch for the price to get towards the orange zone here, which is about 13,900, and possibly even within it towards 14,000. Breaking past this zone is very unlikely currently, because of certain policies that the Fed is still acting under. It's very unlikely that the NASDAQ currently will break through this zone. All right, it's still not likely that it even gets there. It's likely that NASDAQ gets towards the top of this descending channel and then breaks under and goes back down to continue the macro bear trend to the downside. All right, so this is the most probable path. We do want to see how price action will form as we get towards the top of this channel. Should we get to the top of the channel, and the probabilities may change. But if we do break out, watch out for this orange zone, because it's very unlikely that we do break through. Okay, it's very unlikely we have any confirmations above, and if we don't, as expected, you will likely see the continuation of the downtrend. Okay, all right. If something changes in Fed policy, then we'll revisit this. All right. So if they are going to put a pause on raising rates, stuff like that, that would change the outlook for me, at least. All right. Okay. So that's all I'm going to go over today. Make sure, if you are looking to trade with me, that you do have those alerts like I've mentioned. And if you want to trade with me, take a look at my Patreon. It's $15 a month. I've only had 2 losses, 1 loss in crypto, 1 loss in stocks all year, approaching 80 trades. Everyone should be making money, period. Okay. And if you do want to learn how to trade optimally, profitably, and not give your money back, I don't even hedge, then check out my tutoring. I do $100 a session, or if you want to pay for the month, it's $300 for the month. You get 1 trading session per week. All right, I can usually get you up to shape, somewhat of a better trader depending on who you are, within 3 to possibly 4 sessions. You should be able to be somewhat profitable between 3 to 4 sessions, unless you have a lot of work to do. It does depend on who you are, but most people just need a change in how they view the markets. That's all. Okay. All right. So I'm going to let you be. Everyone, remember, be patient, be vigilant, and be nimble. Love you guys. Take care.